So the book of Shemuel Aleph, Perek Tet, Pasuk Aleph. We studied it Monday night. People asked me for a recording. There was no recording. So I'm just going to go over some of the main points of the class because there were some, the Pesukim are beautiful, and I just want to share some of the ideas in the Pesukim with you. There's a few ideas. The first one is in the first two Pesukim, you have the generations from Binyamin to Shaul. And you notice that it comes out to exactly 7 generations as follows. You have Kish, who's the father of Shaul. You have Aviel. You have Seror. You have Bechorah. You have Afiyah. And then you have Binyamin. So Shaul is number 7. So the 7th is always holy, right? On the 7th day is Kadosh. The 7th year is Kadosh. And there's other examples of the number 7 being representing Kedusha. So Shaul represents the Kedusha of Shevet Binyamin. The same way Shabbat represents the Kedusha of the week, and the Shemitah represents the Kedusha of the cycle of years. Now, also another point I wanted to bring out was Vahi Ish Mi Bin Yamin. It's interesting. It's word as 2 words. Bin Yamin. Usually it's Bin Yamin. It's 1 word, but it's brought as 2 words. So I don't remember if this was Radak. Yeah, it was Radak who says that, or maybe it wasn't Radak. It was one of the Chachamim. Perhaps it was actually Abarbanel, that's who it was, who says that when Rachel died, she called Binyamin, she called him Ben Oni, because she saw in the Ruach HaKodesh what's going to come out of Binyamin, or who she called Ben Oni. She saw the Avirah of Pilegesh Bagiv'ah. She saw that, and she became very distressed. So she called Binyamin Ben Oni. She was embarrassed that she would have that Shevet Binyamin, who is from her, would do that horrible travesty. The Chachamim say that Yaakov Avinu saw things differently. And here we see the contrast. Shaul was from Binyamin, but he wasn't Ben Oni as Raphael saw, but he was Bin Yamin, in contrast to Ben Oni as Yaakov saw. So again, Shaul represented the best of Binyamin, and he is one of the most beautiful figures in the Bible. Truly a beautiful, beautiful story, touching story, so human and so real. On each one of these Pesukim, we had some wonderful insights. So let me just read the first 2 Pesukim, just so we read it and enjoy it. Vahi ish mi Binyamin ushmo Kish ben Aviel ben Seror ben Bechorat ben Afiyah ben Ish Yemini Gebor Hayil ולא היה בן ושמו שאול בחור וטוב ואין איש מבני ישראל טוב ממנו משכמו ומעלה גבוה בכל העם. And I like the word tov, right? Tov. It's like Moshe Rabbeinu vatere oto ki tovu, because among the goyim there's the external facade and there's the inner persona. And there's often a chasm between how a person portrays himself, especially a political leader, and what the person is really like on the inside. Moshe Rabbeinu was Tov. The Chachamim say he was born Mahul. He was born ready for Nevu'ah, and there was light coming out of him. So here we see that the outer beauty was actually an extension of an inner Kedusha. Also Shaul. When it says Tov here, the Tov of Shaul isn't just that he was handsome. He was handsome and he was tall, but it was an extension of an inner Kedusha, right? So let's continue in the Pesukim. So important for political leaders. ויאמר קיש אל שאול בנו, קח נא איתך את אחד מהנערים, וקום לך, בקש את האתונות, the famous story with the atonot that are lost. The father's atonot are lost. That was probably the family business, right? Maybe they used to transport things from place to place. Whatever the use of the atonot was, they were lost. ויעבור בהר אפרים, ויעבור בארץ שלישה, ולא מסעו, ויעברו בארץ שעלים ועין, ויעבור בארץ ימיני, ולא מסעו, המה באו בארץ סוף, ושאול אמר, לנערו אשר עמו לך ונשובה, פן יחדל אבי מן האתונות, ודאג לנו. So let's look at the various places. He passes through Har Ephraim, he passes through Eres Shalisha, he passes through Eres Sha'alim, he passes through Eres Yemini, and finally he passes through Eres Suf. How many places? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I explain that this represents the next 5 stages in the life of Shaul. Soon he's going to pass through Har Ephraim. I mean, the Peshat is these are the places he actually went through to look through for the Atonot. But there's a certain beautiful symbolism here. He passes through Har Ephraim. Who's from Har Ephraim? Shemuel Hanavi. So, first of all, the next stage of his life, something earth-shattering, something will happen, and that is he's going to meet Shemuel Hanavi and forge a relationship with Shemuel Hanavi. Next thing, Eres Shalisha. Eres Shalisha is the south of Israel. The Hachamim say, Haroseh lehaskil yadrim. He should go to the south. So that's the second stage. As a result of forging a bond with Shemuel Hanavi, Shaul will attain certain wisdom. Shemuel is going to teach him Torah, he's going to teach him about the Melucha, he's going to teach him certain things that the king of Israel, Mashiach Hashem, needs to know to be the king. So that's Eres Shalisha, the wisdom that Shaul will attain. Finally, Eres Sha'alim, but then Shaul is going to go through a series of crises in his life. The word Sha'alim means there's different roads, different paths to take. So Shaul is going to go through a series of crises in his life. He's going to be Naboch. He's going to be Hayran. As the Rambam says, Monei Nebuchim is Hayran. What does that mean? You have different roads you can take. You don't know which road to take. He's going to be in a series of crises, tragedies in a sense. That's Eres Sha'alim. Finally, at the 4th stage, it's going to come a time where Shaul is going to have to make the war against Pelishtim. He's going to know before the war that he's entering that war alive, and he's leaving the war dead. And yet, he courageously enters the war with his son, with his sons. They all know they're going to be dying in the war. That's Eres Yemini. Yemin Hashem also high, and that's courage of a brave warrior. That's the 4th stage of his life. And finally, after all the suffering, after all the tragedies, after all the hayran, Shaul is going to reach Eres Suf. That's Olam Haba. It's sweet like the honeycomb. Beautiful beauty. Shaul, yesh lo chelek le'olam haba, of course. And he goes to Eres Suf. So that's the symbolism of that pasuk. I love this about Shaul. You know, we're so used to, the leaders, a lot of leaders in Israel come from the army. Not all of them. A lot of the leaders come from the army. It certainly is an army mentality among leaders, not just in Israel, but also in other places in the world where the leader The leader has an objective. He has a goal. He has a problem he has to deal with. And here's how he's going to do it. And he's going to reach the objective, come hell or high water. Take an extreme example, which is a horrible example. China. There's a coronavirus in one province. They lock people in their house. What's the objective? Get rid of the virus. They lock people in their house. The people starve to death because there's no humanity in that type of mentality. There's no feelings. Rather, the leader looks at the good of the nation, and in the context of looking at the good of the nation, he rams over people, but he did the right thing, or so many people say. But it's not just in China. That was an extreme example, but it happens all the time. Rules applied indiscriminately, even when the rules are harmful and hurtful. I'll give you an example. Raise real estate taxes. Well, we need revenue. That's the objective. We need revenue, and we need to raise real estate taxes. Yeah, and then there's an old couple who've been living in their house all their lives, who are living on a retirement, and you raise the real estate taxes on their house, and they have to sell their house to survive. Where's the humanity in that? Well, that's the way the Western world, that's the way the Gentile world works. That's the way the state of Israel works today. Unfortunately, of course, you all know I love Israel. The Mashiach is not here. Shaul, what a beautiful, beautiful person. The family business is in jeopardy. The atonot are lost. He's sent on a mission. Get the atonot. Come on, Shaul. What are you worried about? You worried about your father? Worry about the atonot. You were sent to get the atonot. Go get the atonot. Okay, it'll take another week to find them. So go look for them and go find them. But what's he thinking about? He's a human being. He's concerned about the fact that he realizes his father is worried about him. And he doesn't want to succeed in the mission. If the cost of succeeding in the mission means his father's feelings are going to be hurt, that's a beautiful leader. That's Mashiach Hashem. The Mashiach Hashem is a person, everybody has objectives, and the objectives are to make us feel good, that we can check it off. But if you have to run over other people to do it, no, not good. So the Mashiach Hashem is a person who first and foremost cares about people. If penalizing poor people and putting interest on the penalties and penalties on the interest, as they do in some places, because they owe money. And we have to have these rules in place because it's the only way to deal with the situation, right? But what's the price? We lose our humanity. And there are people who suffer because of this. That's not proper. That's not a Jewish leader. I love this pasuk, so beautiful. He's worried about his father. כל אשר ידבר, בוא יבוא, אתה נאל חשב, אולי יגיד לנו את דרכנו, אשר הלכנו עליה. I'm just being brief because, again, I gave the class. I just wanted to share this video for those of you who didn't go to the class so that you can kind of be caught up. Bottom line, they're about to go back. They hear that Shemuel Hanavi is in the city nearby. Let's go to Shemuel Hanavi. ויאמר שאול לנערו והנה נלך ונביא לאיש כי הלחם אזל מכלנו ותשורה אין להביא ותשורה אין להביא לאיש האלוהים בא איתנו ויוסף ענה לענות את שאול ויאמר הנה נמצא בידי רבע שקל כסף ונתתי לאיש האלוהים ויגיד לנו את דרכנו. They want to bring a gift with them. The Na'ar who's with Shaul says, I have a quarter of a coin of silver. They want to bring a gift. Derech Eres, bring a gift to the Navi. And finally, Lefani Israel, Amar Ish Belechto, Idrosh Elohim, Echuven Elecha, Ad Haroe, Kila Navi, Hayom, Ikare Lefanim Haroe. The Navi originally was called the Ro'eh, the seer. And I explain what's the difference in a Navi and a Ro'eh. What's Navi? Ro'eh emphasizes the fact that the Navi is there to help people with their personal problems. Right? So people have personal problems. Everybody has personal problems. They don't know how to resolve them. In the days of the Navi'im, they would go to the Navi. And the Navi would tell them what to do. It's called a Ro'eh because he would be able to see further into the future. And then there's a Navi. Navi is a person who speaks, needs sifatayim, words. So the Ro'eh is sight. The Navi is speech. The Ro'eh sees. He tells you, this is what I see. Go there, do that, do this. Navi gives musar to the nation of Israel. So there's two separate functions. One is to help people. The other is to guide the nation through words that he receives from the Almighty. And he expresses the message from the Almighty in words. You have to do this. You shouldn't do that. Guiding the people in the proper observance of the Torah. So that's the Navi, and then there's the Ro'eh. Back then, the Navi served the function of the Ro'eh, and he was called the Ro'eh, because that was the main function of the Navi, was people had problems, and they would go to Shemuel. ויאמר שאול לנערו, טוב דבריך לך אליך, וילכו אל העיר, אשר שם איש האלוהים. And they resolved to go and visit Shemuel Navi. And so it is.